Hey guys, in this video I'm gonna be teaching you how to solve the 15 puzzle blindfolded. This method applies to every sliding puzzle, similar to the 15 puzzle, such as the 24 puzzle, the 35 puzzle, and so on. I will be assuming that you have some basic familiarity with how blind solving works, so I assume you're familiar with, at the very least, blind tracing, and with how the concept of setup moves works, and familiarity with Orozco method or other methods that involve the usage of a slave buffer will also help, but it's not strictly required. So when you get a scramble with the 15 puzzle, the hole will not always be in the bottom right. So what you want to do is, whenever you get a scramble, you're gonna trace two moves into that in your mind. So you're not gonna obviously do the two moves, that's illegal, but you're gonna trace the two moves in your mind and pretend like you did the scramble is actually this one. I'll show you examples at the end of the video. And this is not hard at all because these two moves can affect at most 6 pieces on the 15 puzzle, and it's pretty easy to visualize what the effect is of those two moves. So I'm gonna use 15 as my buffer. So this location 15 is gonna be my buffer, and location 12 is gonna be what's called the slave buffer. So let me set up a 3 cycle real quick. The idea is that it's very easy to perform a 3 cycle with the 15 going to 11 going to 12. You just do these moves. So in notation that would be D, R, U, L, and obviously you can do the inverse pretty simply as well. So the idea is that we're going to set up 2 cycles involving 15 and 12. For example, if you were to cycle 15 to 1 to 12, we will be doing this pretty long setup. I chose the obviously the hardest one, and it's pretty hard to do obviously if people keep the 15 pulse in the air. This is gonna be my setup. So you just saw that I just cycled these 9 pieces around, and now I'm gonna just perform the 3 cycle, and then I'm gonna do the anti-setup. And there we go. So 15 has gone to 1, 1 has gone to 12, and 12 has gone to 1. So that's the basic idea. And we're gonna see how to combine 3 cycles to perform bigger cycles. So let me do another example. All right, here's our example. Here we have the 15 location has to go to 10, which goes to 13, which goes back to 15. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna set up 10 to here, and we're gonna cycle 15 to 10 to 12. So this is the setup cycle. And the piece that was in 10 now is in 12. Alright, so now we have to put the 12 back here. This has to go to 13 because that's what we traced, and obviously we complete the cycle, the 15 must go back here. So now we basically have to do the inverse cycle. So let's set up 13 to 11, do the inverse cycle, and then do the setup. That's the basic idea. So for every piece that lies on these 3 columns, we're going to set it up using cycles like this. And it's pretty easy to set it up. And you require at most 4 cycles. For number 1, you require 4 cycles. And for 13, you require 2. For 14, you require 1. For these 2, 1 cycle. For these 3, 2 cycles. And for these 2, just 3 cycles. And 4 and 8 are pretty special, but actually it's pretty easy to play with this. So to cycle 15 to 12 to 8, you can do something like this. And now you can just perform the cycle. Oopsie. Remember not to actually pop the thing and then go back. Nothing complicated there. If you want to set up 15 to 4 to 12, what you can do is do this setup here. It's not a super complicated setup. Then do this 4 moves and then go back. Okay, I'll be doing an example solve. The scramble will be in the description. Alright, this is our scramble. And the first thing we have to do is to pretend we do 2 moves. So we have to basically trace from this position. So this is going to be our 2 moves. I'm going to trace from this position, but we're going to keep this here. So yeah, 15 goes to 6, which goes to 7. So this is our first, I guess, number pair, 6, 7. And you can use some letter scheme to memorize the numbers. So I just used alphabetical. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, pretty basic. So 6 goes to 7, which goes to 3. Now here, actually, there should be number 4, because if you do the 2 moves, here's actually 4. So yeah, so you have to be careful. So basically, this piece is going to be affected. So 6 goes to 7, goes to 3, which goes to 4. 4, this is what should be in position 4, so 4 goes to 12. The piece which should be in position 12 is this, so which goes to 14, which goes to 11, which goes to 1, which goes to 10, which goes to 9, 5, 8, then 15. And we actually finished the tracing. We obviously have even parity because there's no such thing as parity in a 15 puzzle. These 2 pieces are solved, 2 and 13 are solved. It can be pretty hard when some of these pieces is solved to determine that. You can use some cycle break equation as well. In this case, we have enough letters. So we have to do this to go to application. We just do 2 moves. So we have 6. So we just set up 6 to 11 and then perform the cycle 6 to 11 to 12. So we go. This is our setup. Then we do the cycle, and then we undo the setup. Now, what was in 6 went to 7, so you can see that 7 now is here. So we have to do the inverse cycle. So let's set 7 up to 11, inverse cycle, undo the setup. Now you have 3 to 4, so we have to set up 3 to 11. So that's going to be this setup here. And you can use also this row if you feel uncomfortable, because it can be actually pretty hard where you're blindfolded to determine whether you move everything. So I probably would just use the outer row as well. And do the setup. Now you have 4. So this is one of the special cases. So you have to do this setup move. Then we do the inverse cycle. Undo the setup. Now you have 12 to 14, so we actually have already a cycle involved in 12. So actually this is just a normal cycle. So we have to set up 14, we have to set up 14 to here. You have to do the inverse cycle since the piece in the buffer goes to 12. So here. Now you have 11, so that's just this cycle. No need to set up. And then 1. And this is the longest setup. Inverse cycle, and then back. But then we have 10 to 9, so 10, forward cycle, 9, so this would be this setup, inverse cycle, and undo the setup. So then you have 5 to 8. 5 is the most annoying piece. It's annoying because basically you have to move 2 here, and moving 2 is annoying. What I would do is probably do this finger trick here. I guess finger trick, I don't even know. This way you're executing the thing. So I would just execute it like this, and you have to do it 3 times. So that's annoying. Then cycle, and then undo the setup. So yeah, we have 8. So this. There we go. I'll do one more example solve, right? So these are second example solve. So here we have to trace 2 moves. So these are gonna be our 2 moves. And I always prefer to do a horizontal one and a vertical one. The only exception is if by doing that order, I get that the buffer is solved. But that's rare, comparatively rare. So let's just start tracing. So you have the buffer goes to 10, but 10 isn't this, 10 is this. Because when you do the first moves, this moves to the buffer. So you have 10 to 11, which is this piece. So this piece is 11, so 10 to 11. Then this goes to 5 to 2, and we're back to the buffer. My default cycle break is 12 because of course that's just the easiest one, although in this case it's actually not too great because it's set out to 1. So yeah, so we have 10, 11, 5, 2, 12. 12 is this piece goes to 12, so 1. Then we have 8, 7, then we have 14, and back to 12. And yeah, these are all the pieces because 9, 3, and 4 are solved. So that's a lot of solid pieces. So let's just start. So you have 10. So 10 is pretty simple. Just do that. Then 11, just very easy. That's just already set up. 5 to 2, this annoying setup. 5 with the forward 3 cycle. Then we have 2, which you can do like this. I prefer to do it like this. Reverse 3 cycle. And actually here, there's something slightly advanced. You can actually cancel into the next setup move, because next will be 12 to 1, and the next setup move we actually have to do 1. So you could have canceled, because I chose to do the outer one. So yeah, you could have, because up to here was the setup move, so you actually could have just gone 1 further down here. You have to do the reverse cycle, because the cycle is 12 to 1. And then go back. And then you have 8 to 7, so 8. This is a good setup to 8. Cycle. I need to do it forward because 8 is its first number of the number pair, I guess. 7. Pretty simple. Back. Oh, actually, we didn't finish the cycle. Ooh, I would have actually DNF'd this all by 3 cycle because I didn't notice 6 to 13 to 9. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Yeah, we have now 14 to 12. So this will be this. And now you have to cycle break because actually it's not solved. So either of these two is fine. I'll probably choose 13. I don't know. Forward cycle. And this goes to 9. Reverse 3 cycle. This goes to 6. Forward 3 cycle. And this goes to 13. Reverse 3 cycle. Then we finish. And always remember to put the hole in the bottom right, because otherwise, I don't know. you did 0 plus 13 of it. So actually I said this was going to be the last one, but I lied. I'm going to do one more. Alright, so actually this is going to be the last example solved. So here the hole is here, so you have to trace 2 moves, and these are going to be our 2 moves. So you're going to pretend as if I was doing the 2 moves. So the buffer goes to 11, which goes to 1, which goes to 12, which goes to 14, which goes to 3, which goes to 8, but 8 is actually this piece, which goes to 9, which goes to 7, but 7 is this piece, so we actually cycle break, and I'm going to cycle break here to 13, which goes to 13, which goes to 4, which goes to 6, which goes to 10, which goes to 2, which goes to 13. And yeah, let's do execution. So these are going to 2 moves, and we have 11 to, so first is 11 to 1, so just do first cycle, that's already set up. 1, we have to reverse cycle, so this reverse 3 cycle. Now you have 12 to 14, so it's just the reverse 3 cycles. We just set up 14 to 11. We did the reverse 3 cycle and go back. Now we have 3 to 8, so 3. Forward 3 cycle. 8. So this is set up here. Reverse 3 cycle. Now you have 9, and then to 7. Forward 3 cycle. Then we have 7, which is here, so that's just 1 cycle here. Reverse 3 cycle and go back. We broke to 13, so let's just do 13. 13 goes here in 2 cycles like this. Forward 3 cycle, go back. 4, that's one of the kind of annoying cases. So like this. Reverse 3 cycle. Now you have 6 to 10, so forward 3 cycle, and then 10, so 10 is here, reverse 3 cycle, then 2, forward 3 cycle, and then finally 13, which is here, 13, reverse 3 cycle. And don't remember to always the ball in the bottom right. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.